Hello everyone, this is Allan speaking, and before we're gonna start the video, let me show you those two videos that I first watched by SML and SMG4. And these are the first video that I first watched those when I was very young. So I hope you understand that this is where I first found those two, and this is where I see those as different but likable as well.
Run along and play with your toys. They're in the living room, right?
Yes, but I want to play toys with you. You gotta play toys with me because someone has to play toys with me. That's what my dad said you had to do.
What toys do you want to play with then?
Trains. I want to play trains.
Oh, no fucking way!
That tastes like shit.
So yeah, those two videos are the first video that I watched from SML and SMG4, and this is where it all changed for SML. But for SMG4 he does good, but let's just say those two are very different for their future. So in this video, I will be talking about a lot of things around those two channels and how much I'm going to talk about how much they are very different and how much they are has those type of future that's going to be much different from each other. So I'm gonna let you all know that this is a thing that I have in mind since those two are very rare to me. Well, except for SML today, since let's just say they're not doing that much good as for now. But this is a video that I wanted to talk about more and how much I feel those two channels that are very much different to my own vision. So let's just start with those lists on the progress and what I'm gonna do for those two channels on the series itself. So this update will be somewhat of a thing that most YouTubers can, let's just say, vote or other things that to talk about, but for a person like myself, I decided to put something with a lot of things that could be very interesting for some of you guys to like to watch, or things that want to see how much I could, give out some of the main choices of characters or lists or tier lists. And speaking of tier list, let's start with the first one, and that is of course this one. And to believe me, this is a tier list that we're gonna talk about a lot of things about this and that, and mostly the character from SML or SMG4 will be somewhat on the list as well. And speaking as someone who could tell me on why Chevy is at the lower bottom, well, hear me out, because I hate Chevy, and Chevy deserves no type credit, no nothing, like literally nothing. So at this point, we have somewhat of a tier list that we will be talking about. Depends if it's not somewhat of a ranking for characters. So that's what I'm gonna show you for this video. And for the next one, this one, to be honest, has somewhat of a YouTuber that is scaled from good, gray, or bad. If you didn't know this YouTuber that talk about characters that are good or evil depends to their own character personality and or their own trait. So this could tell you that this somewhat of a trait background that, as you're gonna see, will be that I will be talking about with characters that are from SML and SMG4. So the Sky one is for the good one. Depends on the SML or SMG4 on who are the goodest characters on their own good mercy and much more. The gray one it depends on characters who are somewhat half good, somewhat half bad, but it's somewhat of a thing, and if they're good or bad, we either way. And the bad one is that one for characters who are very evil or genocidal by their other type way. And for this one, I'll be talking about a lot about this type of characters, and let's just say those two channels by their own trouble from YouTube or many more things that I got in trouble by more than YouTube. Well, either cases, if you are of a SML fan, you know what I'm talking about, right? So, for this reason, it won't be only that, but I'll be talking about other stuff as well because it will be somewhat of a thing just for having me and the others will, talk about things that could be very important by those two YouTube channels. And for the next one, we have our this image that will be shown by the theories video. And as you may know, this is where SML SMG4 has somewhat of a questionable thoughts around the characters, stories, or other timeline between those areas. So, as we all would know, it's time for us to have somewhat of a theory of mind. Could talk about somewhat of a thing if it's true or not, but other cases as well. This is a thing just to for us to have some bigger thoughts or thoughts for us to answer some questions unnoticed on what just happened by some of the videos or some of the past video as well. And the next one right here, well, this one is somewhat of a thing, but mostly importantly, I want to have those two channels shown to be have on which characters are better. So for either cases, we have one character from this channel and the other character from the other channel, and who's gonna win on have like a death battle. But for other reason, it's time for us to show who is the best by their own characters, good at fighting or stuff that comes between their own skills. And there will be somewhat of a more thing later on by later update, but I will let you all know for some things that will be coming out later on. But I hope you all wait for the next episode or for episode 1 to come out. So if you enjoy this video, please make sure to give us a good thumbs up and subscribe for this channel for some more SML versus NG4, and I'll talk to you all later.